I'm going to beat you into the living death.
Welcome back to Yelling About Mixed Martial Arts, the show where I yell about mixed martial arts. UFC 312 was an event that nobody cared about, had few actual stakes, and delivered about as well as the average DoorDasher. Sure, the job was done because fights did in fact take place, but I wanted a goddamn Hamzat in the main event and ended up with a Strickland, and much like the rest of the planet, I've developed an allergy to that guy's bullshit. Yes, teep, jab, occasional swing, Sean Strickland did his normal plate spinning routine after peddling his standard, "It's going to be a war to the death" shtick to the masses in the land down under, but this time nobody was buying before the fight, and fucking really nobody was buying after. Funny how Strickland was once a lauded mouthpiece for conservatism, when the main thing he's conserving now are punches, kicks, and takedowns. Motherfucker is doomsday prepping with his offense. The criticisms for Strickland's performance were as swift as the shot from Drekus that would end up breaking Sean's nose. Even Mr. Nice Guy Dean Thomas laid his chips on the table, saying Sean just ain't the killer, he's playing behind the mask.
You essentially saying he's not who he thinks he is, or he's not who he tells us he is, right?
He's exactly who he knows who he is. He's just not telling us that.
Okay,
right?
What do you mean by that?
And that's what fighters do, is that as a fighter, your job is to almost kind of conceal who you really are, because in the moments when you fight, you go out there and try to do your thing. But you know who you really are. And I think he couldn't hide from it this time. The difference is the spotlight. You know, the lights, man, when them lights hit you, it's the real you shows up. The real you will expose itself when the lights hit you. And that's what's happening to him, is that he's not that guy.
I tend to disagree that he wasn't ever that guy when he was the guy who was shouting down Jack Hermanson and TKOing a Boos, but that guy is well in the past, and even for this version of Sean, this was low output. Aside from the fans in Sydney who had to pay for this fight, a co-main filled with one-way traffic, and an undercard that amounted to an okay fight night, the person who I feel worst for is Sean's coach Eric Nixick, who also didn't mince words in voicing his disappointment and suggesting that Sean needs to figure out who he really wants to be when it comes to this sport.
It was just uninspired fighting to me. It just seemed like he was sleepwalking. It just was a very underwhelming performance in an opportunity to fight for a title. You know, it just to me was we didn't perform. You know, so it's on all of us. It's on me as a coaching staff. It's on Sean, and you know, I think he needs to evaluate what he wants to do in this sport. If it's just to make money, then that's great. Let us know. You know, I want to coach world champions.
At this time of self-reflection for Sean, my advice would be to take a break from fighting and become the third mic on Bryce Mitchell's podcast. He can talk all the shit he wants without having to reset his own nose in the process, and for once in his life, he might actually be the smartest guy in the room. In the co-main event of UFC 312, Tatiana Suarez was summarily dismantled by Zhang Weilei for the women's strawweight belt. Knowing Suarez's history of illness and injury, even in defeat, I'm glad that she finally got this fight. As opposed to a fight that was suggested during this exchange on the weigh-in show.
Because they put some crazy shit on the bottom. On this, I don't know what this is. Look at this, man. Look at this on the bottom. Like, why would that be on my...
Yeah, I mean...
Why would that be on my...
You would not want to see a rematch of Tatiana Suarez and cancer.
No, like, I don't understand why that's on my deal, bro.
Jesus fucking yikes. I genuinely didn't realize they got this edgelord on the weigh-in show. I thought it was all DC doing barbecue mukbangs and Lorisenko riding a mechanical bull. Elsewhere on the 312 card, a bunch of local Australians and New Zealanders fought to mixed results at this overall pretty mid pay-per-view. Anshul Jubilee fell victim to a walk-off knockout by Quillan Salkilled, followed by a million memes about Google Play gift cards. Talashin Teixeira inverted Justin Tafa's nose with his elbow, and Cody Steele had a fight of the night banger with Rongju, only to find out that he was indeed the Rongju to fuck with. When 3 out of 4 bonuses go to a dude fresh off of the Contender Series, it just might say something about the quality of your event. I was struggling to come up with anything more to say about the point fighting of UFC 312, but thankfully I don't have to, as over the course of writing this script, Sean Strickland has released a response to Eric Nixick's comments, with Sean saying that he had a bad fight camp, and that Nixick won't be cornering him any further.
Alright, you guys keep tagging me about this whole Eric thing, and goddamn it, because I like Eric. He's a friend of mine, and he's going to continue to be a friend of mine. Will he probably be in my corner? Probably not. We have so many great guys at Extreme, Nate, Ray Cepho. We have so many savages that I would love to corner me. But, you know, man, that entire fight camp was just a struggle. Like, it was a fucking struggle. And, guys, we all have excuses as to why we didn't win or why we won and we shouldn't have won. We all fucking have excuses, and they don't fucking matter. The only reason why I'm making this video is because Eric had to go do a fucking podcast and become an influencer. So now I gotta, like, alright, kind of explain myself.
Oh, what a difference a day makes. Perhaps it'll actually be Eric Nixick who will be the third mic on the Ark Insanity podcast. Congratulations, Bryce! In other much fluffier news, Daniel Cormier and Chael Sonnen are the coaches of this season of The Ultimate Fighter. If they reenact the Wanna Now meme, consider this me calling it right here, right now, and I wouldn't put it past these goofballs who have chosen a WWE star in Colby Covington to be on their respective coaching staffs. So now on this season, you've got a real professional wrestler, DC the pro wrestling LARPer, Chael Sonnen whose greatest strength is cutting promos, and Colby the biggest try-hard heel there ever was Covington, who defrosted Hulk Hogan to hobble alongside him before he got his clock cleaned in Tampa. I can already smell the UFC WWE brand synergy that TKO Holdings is cooking for this season of TUF, and I am fully prepared to stinger splash vomit into the bowl of my toilet when I have to witness it over the course of 12 episodes. For yelling about mixed martial arts, this is Thinker St. James reminding you that UFC 312 was mid, things might be getting spicy at Extreme Couture, and if you care this much about MMA, you too are a fucking moron.
一路到现在，你现在是冠军，算雷斯你也是一样，经过了很多病魔，战胜病魔，走到了现在的冠军挑战权。这一路走来很不容易。
热爱 MMA， 他坚持到现在，现在站到了这里，所以他是一个坚持不懈的人。那我也是，我们都经历了很多，所以只要有梦想就去坚持。